Hey everybody, it's Garrett, otherwise known as Gitronist on the channel, and today I wanted to review Wintersun's The Forest Seasons. This is their third record, released in 2017, and it was released initially via a crowdfunding campaign that allowed them to, I guess, procure the funds to eventually finish Time 2, but I wanted to go and talk about the Forest Seasons. So, one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this one is because this was the record that came out shortly after I had gotten into the band. I got into them or started getting into them about 2015, and then by 2017 I was fully immersed in their two album discography and decided to give this one a go to. I did not do the crowdfunding thing, but I bought the CD eventually. So, Wintersun's The Forest Seasons. Now, when it comes to the forest seasons, we're really looking at this idea that's like kind of like conceptually, it's like a take on Vivaldi's Four Seasons. Awaken from the dark slumber is spring. The forest that weeps is summer. Let's see, and then you have eternal darkness, which is autumn, and it caps off with loneliness, which is winter. And for me, I do feel like while the songs can be very long and they can kind of drag in parts, I do think that conceptually it's such like a grand scope to write something of this nature that I think that they do get the pacing right. The songs are all some of their longest songs. I think the longest one on here, yeah, the longest one on here is Awaken from the Dark Slumber, and that's the opening track. This track definitely starts with a big kick, or because all of them have like these like gentle intros, sort of, except for Eternal Darkness, which, well, kind of sort of starts off a little bit more muted and then just bursts open for Eternal Darkness. And it's also nice that Eternal Darkness is filled with just endless weird blast beats, like, and sometimes you can, in Eternal Darkness, sometimes you can actually lose the tempo and the pace or portion of the song that you're at with how much the blast beats are there. It's actually really fun. I lose count of it, and then suddenly he starts singing haunting darkness turning inside of man, or something along those lines. Awaken from the dark slumber starts with a more mysterious, metaphysical thing. And after that first minute, it just cuts right in with drums. It's like, in terms of how this record functions with highs and lows and with quiet moments and loud moments, I think that there is a good balance struck. The quiet, loud moments, when they switch up, they can be very sudden, very, not necessarily jarring, but more like just, yeah, just on point. Like you'll get to a portion and then it goes quiet and it goes da da, and then it'll go into the next one, just burst right back open. The Forest That Weeps is a good one for that. There is this little guitar lead that they do in the middle of The Forest That Weeps that has that thing I'm talking about, where, because it starts off with like this, like almost like you're in like a forest and there's elves and dwarves and humans and gnomes all around, and it's just like da 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 do 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 do, and then it takes that melody and turns it into the guitar part. And then at 9 minutes into The Forest That Weeps, it has this epic like French horn part that's just like it's just, the album is all around very epic and encased in that epicness, which I think does it both good and bad. I would say that there's a balance. I myself just personally like the record in general, and I'm sorry if you can hear that noise in the background. That's a washer in the distance. But, you know, overall, this record is really nice to listen to, and it does cap off with Loneliness, which I would say topically, winter, I think, especially in Finland and even where I live, can be very isolating. And because of that, I think that winter, in terms of how, or loneliness, in terms of how it comes across, gets that general atmosphere, like that general lonely atmosphere. The strings are very melancholic. They go very somber and sad, and then they go into the loud verse, and then it goes into a softer chorus. Washed away by the burning sun. I'm mixing up lyrics, but yeah, this record's great. I did end up loving listening to this over the years. And thanks, Yari. Thanks, Wintersun.